But Doreen, we're very excited to have you today. Thank you for helping out on a Monday. We're excited to learn about essential oils. So I'm giving you the floor for the next 24 minutes, my love.
Thank you. And, Saturday when I was leaving work, I was, it was making me crazy that I couldn't tell you my personal experience in a compliant way. And I called Danielle and I just went, what are you doing for the next 5 minutes? And then I was cursing, raw and real, and like, this is what we really have. So in my personal life, I have that bronchitis that I got and I went into respiratory distress. If it was not for my peppermint oil, I might not be sitting here. It literally saved my life. I couldn't even take a deep enough breath to cough out the bronchial cast. If you don't know what a cast is, it's just like a cast on your arm, only it's like rubber. So it was white blood cells, protein, and it literally looks like science. Like it looks like a cast, and it was had totally blocked my airways. And when I got in the hospital, I was like admitted immediately with horrible stuff. But in the meantime, I was putting peppermint oil in my mouth, on my chest, using the inhaler. I could not breathe. It was terrible. But when I did the peppermint, I was actually able to take a deep enough breath to cough out the cast that was the size of the palm of my hand, and not even kidding. It looked like lightning. It was all the bronchial tubes. And so that's the power of what we have. It is man's first medicine. This is all we had. And when you have it in the purest form, it does it does everything that the plant that you'll read about that the plant does. So another experience I told Danielle, when my mother was alive, she had 3 lumps in her left breast. And there was also a man that, Reverend, who did a lot of praying. His wife had breast cancer, and he mixed frankincense, lavender, and purification together and made a blend that his wife put on. Now, he told this story because the company I was in was never compliant. So that recipe I gave to my mother in a bottle, and because I always have empty bottles around, and I actually use those to give clients to leave with. I never waste anything. So I gave it to my mother. She's like, how often do I put it on? Like 2 days later, and that's 250 drops. 2 days later, she's like, do you have any more of that oil? And I said, what, did you lose it? No, she used it all. So I'm like, so then I explained to her she didn't have to. Now, 1 month later, she had the radical hysterectomy, and they were one to do the lumpectomy, and they had to call in the x-rays, the ultrasound, because they could not find the lumps. And they didn't do anything because they were gone. So, this is the power of what we have. Now, I need to see the kit to tell you the compatible thing that might replace the purification. But I personally rub that mixture without purification, which might be airway, if I'm not mistaken, because they really did mimic this kit. I do it in my lymph nodes. Men too. Men get breast cancer. One of my clients has breast cancer, male. Into your lymph nodes, you can do that kind of stuff, prevent it, for prevention. And, when I talked about the peppermint oil and how the body just, these oils work on a frequency and they just bring the body to balance. 2 clients, one IBS, one constipated from medication. I put 1 drop of peppermint oil in both of their water bottles. I got a call from both of them. They both had formed stools. So this is what we really have, guys. It is amazing. Now, both Tuesdays that I talk to you guys, I don't see Mark with you, but I have to commend Mark. Is he here? Hi, Mark. I have to commend you. I had a test done in nuclear medicine where they put the radioactive stuff in me, and I was like nauseous the whole time. And if it wasn't for my peppermint oil, especially the second day, because they really loaded me up, like you have to have a note with you to go on an airplane because you're radioactive. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't know. I'm like bebopping in, and I'm like getting the IV, and I see radioactive, and that has nothing to do with me. Then I'm glancing over pregnancy normal. Then I see if they're flying on a plane. Well, that piques my ears up, and I'm like, wait a minute, what are we putting in me? And it is radioactive stuff. So I commend you that you went through treatment so long because it's a nauseous that's just in you. It's like, you know what I mean? It's just in you. So it helped me. That second Tuesday, last Tuesday, I was like, ugh, I can't cancel. What can I, you know, like, and I'm like, the oil. Sometimes when it's myself, I forget. So frankincense, lavender helps with bruising. I had a nasty bruise from here on the back of my hand. It's like pretty faded now. Frankincense and lavender together can help get rid of the bruising. So a lot of women that get plastic surgery, I have a client who gets a lot of injections and she gets those little bruisings all over her face. Frankincense and lavender, I layer them on, and it helps accelerating the healing process of the bruising. So, I mean, it's the oils that we have here are extremely powerful. Here's one. Where did Kim go? Can she hear me? Because I want her to hear this too. Okay. So lemon has, because it's molecules like we are, it can cross the blood-brain barrier. Our brain is 94% fat. A lot of this dementia, a lot of this brain stuff, the reason they can't do anything, well, there's two. One, they don't want to. They want you on medicine. The other reason is their molecules are not big enough to, or they're too big enough to cross the blood-brain barrier. Lemon does it naturally, and it's a natural petrochemical killer, and it will neutralize petrochemicals. When people have treatment, dementia, a lot of healthier places will diffuse frankincense in there because it does the same thing. It helps to attack the petrochemicals. But lemon, when we would teach our class, we take a styrofoam cup. I don't own any because it is all petrochemicals. And we would drop just one drop of it on and then talk about the oils. And then in a couple minutes, just pick it up and there's a hole eaten right through it because it attacks the chemicals. So if you know anybody that's like, it's actually just good to do. And it will be grandma's best lemonade you ever had without adding all the sugar and without adding all the other crap in it. Now back to women, I'm gonna pull these two up. Because of its anti-tumoral cancer, frankincense, I know that women that have had ovarian cancer, they drip it on the top of a tampon, these two oils. You don't add the purification when you're going to insert this, and you insert it into your vagina. And men that have prostate cancer, Kim, I see your face, but it actually, it doesn't hurt you. It won't hurt you at all. And it actually will pull any junk out. And it also helps like with people that are in treatment. I actually do this just prophylactically because I'm psychosomatic. And if I hear something, it's like, oh my God, I have to like talk myself out of it. I gotta talk myself off the edge that somebody has something. I'm working in the hospital, you know, you hear everything. So with men, they actually make, like, you know how you can take those ice pops, not ice pops, the thing that goes into a water bottle, the ice, you know, those little trays. You actually put the oils and make a little freezer thing. Now that one's interesting, but because men can't really insert a tampon, that's what men were doing for prostate cancer. You know, inserting it into their hiney, but that oil gets in there. And that's a very thin barrier between the two. So that's, I mean, like what we have here is absolutely amazing. It's one of the reasons why Mark was interested. Let me look at our, because we have different names.
Doreen, for the men,
yes.
Are you talking about making it into a suppository?
Yes. Yeah, for men, they make it into a suppository. And then, of course, you would let the top melt into like the shape of a suppository. And if you can get little smaller ones, that would be better. But listen, when you are fighting for your life, you're going to stick an ice cream up your head.
Totally. I clearly can't spell the word suppository. I just wanted to make sure to clarify because someone asked, and I know you don't watch the chat, so that's why I jumped in.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
What are the two oils somebody's asking? They missed what the two
lavender and frankincense.
Got it.
Lavender and frankincense. And frankincense is the one that is anti-tumoral and helps with people in treatment with cancer. So, and again, remember that the oils are what they call volatile, and it kind of not a great word, but what it means is that it does not build up in the bloodstream. It does whatever it needs to do, and then it's gone. It's not like herbs where you have to be careful and know what you're doing with herbs, because that truly is like medicine. That builds up in the bloodstream. Oils don't do that. It either does its job or it doesn't. If you need it, it does it. If it doesn't, it has the intelligence to just balance, bring it back to balance. And if you think about the word disease, it's really separated. It's dis-ease. When the body's not at ease, you're in disease, dis-ease. And so we're constantly trying to go into ease, which our system is alkaline. And that's where, you know, you're alkalining the body so the things can't exist in there. Same thing with these oils. They're just bringing it back to ease, if you want to think of it that way. So we have tongue bliss, obviously, will be digestion. They're gearing it towards probably to help people with, you know, the isogenics journey of systems itself. Eucalyptus, I was using eucalyptus to help heal my lungs. Yeah, the oils I use, Young Living, which is where Travis comes from. So he knows what he's talking about when he's saying the purity and everything like that. It helps to heal your lungs, and they have a eucalyptus blue, and I have also a couple different species, but that's what I was helping to heal my lungs. And I'll be bringing it with me. And I went to the pool yesterday, and I brought my friend's child that sat behind me in the car. We're driving along. All of a sudden, she's coughing like Typhoid Mary. I'm like, who lets their kid go to a pool? And I'm like, and I open her window. Like, please, I'm trying. For God's sakes, who gives me their kid that's coughing like that dog cough? You know, ugh. I'm like, and she's 8. I was like, oh my God. So I'm like, you all right back there? So anyhow, the eucalyptus lung right on the chest. So let me see, but peppermint, you can think of as like the whole thing. Eucalyptus, really think of lungs. And your lungs, by the way, go all the way up. You know, like your lungs are huge. They go all the way up into the higher part of your chambers. A lot of times I take deep breaths and I actually push it up. And when you first do it, and then you kind of push the air up to your upper chambers. Because working in hospital, I realized that our gravity, we only actually are on certain parts of our lungs. So if you know anybody that has any type of asthma, respiratory, purification and peppermint will pull somebody out of an asthma attack, right in the asthma attack. I was sitting out back with a couple of friends having a little barbecue, and all of a sudden one of my friends looked like a guppy. Like he was like, you know how they did that? And I'm like, are you all right? And he's like, I'm having an asthma attack. I went in the house, got the peppermint purification, put it on a tissue. He took a couple of inhalations, and he was like, never in my life has anything stopped it, not even my inhaler that fast. And he was breathing normally. This is the power of what we have. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. Tea tree and lavender are like the Swiss Army knife. Anything that's going on in the skin, you know, everything that could have happened to me in the last 2 years has. And so I'm figuring when I'm done this journey and I'm on my way out, I'll be good for the rest of my life. I'll be able to start losing weight. I've been injected with steroids. I was on steroids for months with that lung thing. But I ended up getting some crazy, like, sporadic rash on my arm. I don't know if you can see that. It's those are the scarring from it. And it itched like crazy. They gave me medicine. Turned out I was allergic to the medicine. I'm already allergic to Neosporin. Do you know what did this? Healed this? Lavender. Lavender, and if you're familiar with colloidal silver, lavender and colloidal silver, that's what I layered on top of this stuff. And then I'm going to use lavender to help with the scarring. Lavender and your E that you know of. You know, so you can use the E, you know, if you buy the E capsules or get the vitamin E is what I'm trying to say, vitamin E oil. You can mix it with the lavender, put it on scarring, you know, baby scars, that kind of thing. It's great for that. How are we doing on time? Because I also can't see a clock, Danielle.
You have about 10 minutes. Doreen, can I ask you one question?
Yes.
I know all of us that are on this call are you know, Isogenics lovers, and we believe in the company and we believe in Travis and Jim and Kathy. So we know that the oils are going to be 100% pure. I mean, I trust it and you trust it and everybody on this call, I'm sure 100% trust that what they say, that they're going to have the best oils, they're going to take it out the way you say, the best way. Somebody who's not in Isogenics and not with the company and doesn't know the history and doesn't know the integrity of the company, how, like, when we tell them about it's going to be pure essential oils, all the great things that you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
how do you prove it? I know you said you give it to somebody to try, but if you're having a conversation with somebody, how do you talk about it that way?
With that, like, are you talking specifically about people that already know, like myself? Or are you talking about anyone?
Anyone.
Anyone. All right. They are putting in a little booklet. If you looked at the thing, there is a sure that they targeted for late. Booklet is now is going to be
You're glitching out a little
how
bit.
the oils are, and that is the important.
Doreen, you glitched out. I don't hear anybody hear her. I don't hear her.
I don't hear her right now.
No.
Okay. Hold on. Chase.
You're back.
Chase. Can you turn off the TV 1 second? Everyone's living. Everyone's streaming in this house, and so it might be me. Either a satellite's going over. Just turn it off 1 second, honey. I'll be out in 10 minutes. Thank you. So, with that little booklet that comes, it's pocket size. They are gonna. It looks like, because I did go through it, kind of mimicking this. The important part of that is talking about how it's distilled, how it's steam distilled, the low pressure, low temperature, because that's what sets it apart. That's what makes it pure. I would throw out, if you are talking to a Young Living person or a doTERRA, I would throw out that Travis Ogden was with, Isogenics for, Young Living for 10 years, like however long he was there. And then, chose to come to Isogenics. Do you know what I mean? Because then they're going to know that he knows.
Right, but we should educate ourselves on that book, on that one paper, how it's distilled, basically.
Yeah, and the oils are going to be in that. The oils that are in the kit are going to have their own page in there. But because they showed it in that video,
right?
It shows the cold distillery or the cold press. It shows it. And that's the thing, like how we say about the shakes, we know what's wrong with somebody else's, and we don't say it's bad. We just say, know what theirs is, like that they have soy, and then we turn around and say, I'm so glad ours doesn't have soy or any artificial product, in it. So you know what they have. Now, Isogenics is a leader, but you should look at the lawsuit, because doTERRA and Young Living both got sanctioned for saying that the oil was pure. I don't know which ones exactly, but there was other things in it that weren't listed. So know that information and have that as kind of like your arsenal. Not that you're going to attack on that, but you want to know what it is. What was tested on both of them. Now, doTERRA, they're fairly new and they're just extremely jazzed. So they will be easier to talk to. Do you know what I mean? Like, because they don't have that innate loyalty in their heart that we all have for Gary Young. And Mark, I sent you the obituary for Gary Young. Maybe give it to Danielle to put in that thread, just so you guys can read it. Because that's truly who the guy is. And that's honestly how I feel about John Anderson and the Cougars. So, just so that you understand what you're up against when you talk to a Young Living person, he is in their heart. So, what was I going to say there? Hold on. But he's not here anymore. And I was sad that he's gone, but it gave me a sigh of relief, because I have a loyalty, but he's gone now. And he was the guy. The reason why a lot of people leave Young Living's corporate end is because Gary was the cowboy, but he also wanted his hand in everything. So he would render his higher ups useless. So it was hands-on, and now that he's gone, I don't know. You know, like, or is the integrity still going to be there?
Plus, you said their compensation plan sucks.
It's horrible. It's horrible. I've been using their oils for 20 years now, and like I said, the highest check once was $650. I still don't understand their plan. I just love their products, and they have like auto rewards that's amazing. Like you get like by the end of the year, you have like $1,000 in free products. But other than that, their compensation plan is terrible. It's like this breakaway system, but it is multi-level marketing. The more people you enroll, I had 25,000 people in my downline, and my highest check was $650. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't get how you make money in this company. So I never really truly understood network marketing until I came to Isogenics, because they really teach the business. They are the whole package. I didn't even know that I was in network marketing companies with like Tupperware, Niken, like Mary Kay. Like, could you imagine me selling makeup? I couldn't wear it because I'm so sensitive that like I had a reaction to it. But I didn't even know that they were residual income companies, because they really sucked at teaching the business. Both doTERRA and Isogenics, Young Living, compensation plan is important. And wait, what was I going to say about that? I don't know. I forget now. But just the whole, business part of it is how I would go with a Young Living person, unless they are, the tree hugging guru, like that really doesn't care about the business. They need to feel it. And there is a difference, and they will feel it.
Doreen, we just have a minute or two here to wrap up. I just want to, if you can, because I know we've got people on today that have not been on our last two events that we've done. I want you to hold up the Bible book, because really I know we kind of got a little off here at the end about the other companies in the industry, and that's a discussion for a different day, honestly. For this particular discussion, I wanted you really to talk about the power, which you were doing in the beginning of the call, of various oils, and certainly the non-compliant, the things that oils can do for the body. If you're associated with a company and you're talking about it this way, it's completely non-compliant. But for this little 22 minutes, we wanted you to really go crazy with, the power of oils. So the books that you recommend. Go ahead, Doreen.
Well, this is the Essential Desk Reference, but also know that this is geared towards Young Living. But the information in here, that's what I was going to say. doTERRA always would say to people, do you like Young Living? If you do, ours is the same but cheaper. So doing that kind of comparison, you're right. Then I would be like, well, I want if you have to compare yourself to another company like that, they don't have good stuff. But this is huge. But it's like a Bible. I call it the Bible. So you can, it will tell you everything that you want to know. This is the smaller version. The cover's off, but it'll look the same as that. It's the pocket reference. It's for practitioners. The author is Essential Science Publishing. It's Essential Science Publishing that creates this. But know that it is geared towards Young Living. So it will have that in there. But what you want is the actual information. Like when we read frankincense, how, and I'll just quick do that again. The medical uses are anti-tumoral, immunostimulating, antidepressant, muscle relaxing. Uses: depression, cancer, respiratory infection, inflammation, immunostimulating. All the things that you cannot say when you are on the, when you're holding the oil bottle. Now, the fragrant influences increases spiritual awareness, promotes meditation, improves attitude, and uplifts spirits. That you can talk about. The fragrant influence is the emotional side. When you're holding a bottle, you can do that. When you're holding a bottle, you cannot say any of those medical things, but have a class and leave these around. If you don't want this one, find any essential oil book that's going to tell you the medical uses so that you don't have to say it. The pocket reference is going to be awesome too, because this is just conditions. So if I wanted to like quick look up something, let me just turn to a page. Bruising, how about that? Burns, you know, like, so it just has a condition. The other book has it all. But you can leave these around. And when you're done your class, by the way, that you cannot have the oils, when you're done, say you're having a class 12 to 12:30, 12:36, you can now talk about, like, the class is over, somebody approaches you, because you just keep saying that you are using the best, you found the best, and you have tried the rest, you know, like all these other ones, not cliche like that, but, you know, so when the class is over, the people can then ask you that, and you can absolutely say, well, I use Isogenics. But you can't talk about it when you're talking about conditions. Are we at 12:30?
12:37. One more minute, Doreen, go.
Oh, okay. So that's it. Just remaining compliant. Separate. Talking about conditions and nothing Isogenics near you. Not a bottle. Nothing. Not a shake bottle. Nothing. And then have an emotional side, the fragrant influence side with the bottles, and leaving all of that information and books on your tabletops, desktops, so that they can look up, oh, I have fibromyalgia, and they want to know what oil is good for that. So see if I have these because I was in the company so long, but see if there is something similar that maybe is not geared so much to Young Living, so that they don't really see the name. You might see it in there. I mean, I'm not really sure because I just use them all the time. This Carolyn Mean is attached to no one. And this is the emotional release. I think that we could create a class around an emotional release. Young Living had a feelings kit. And by the way, this is my medical kit. I got oils in here. This is my first aid kit. You know, I got Stress Away, which is our Content. You know, this is liquid Valium. Content, I'm sure, will be the same. It's When I Fly. Oh, and you can buy these roll-ons, by the way, these glass bottles, I'm sure, on Amazon. You mix your own oil, and you can give somebody a little Content. Amy Sentis is killing it doing this in her store. And it only takes about 15 drops of real essential oil and the rest is a carrier oil, like olive oil or coconut oil, something natural that it won't try to attack if you use a garbage oil to mix it with. So you want your carrier oil to coconut oil, you know, that you can mix it with. Canadian.
We're at 12:20. We're at 12:30. So I want to just thank you so much for doing this. I know people will want to hear more from you after. So after we get back from Nashville, we'll plan, you know, a few more. For those of you who jumped on late, Doreen is 30 plus years massage therapy, certified aromatherapist, has been doing this till the cows come home. This is her passion. So if anybody is an authority with the experience to teach this kind of a course to our people in our group, please, thank you so much, Doreen. We appreciate you.
And thank you. I can see the thank you. So thank you, everyone, for hopping on. We're going to have so much fun with this one. Love you, too. Love you guys.
Thanks, Doreen.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Doreen.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Doreen. Love you.